Hey guys, welcome back to Unfiltered and Into the Deep. And I have Shae, Elliot, Elliot again today. I'm so excited. We just connected on Instagram again the other day, and I was just like, I want to riff on a podcast, but we don't know what about what. And then I was like, let's make it about this. She made a great post because there was like so many little pieces that I'm like, we could talk about that for an hour. And then you just like opened in our conversation with a whole conversation around pink and how I actually don't really enjoy the color pink, but your whole studio is pink. And I'm always like, oh, it looks so nice. I love it there. And it's too far away that I can't go if anybody does not remember that I live across the country. Someday I will go, but I can't just pop in for an easy class.
Oh my gosh.
But tell me what you were saying about the pink.
Yeah, the pink. That's how we're going to start. We're just going to go right into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for those of you who have not seen my studio, my name is Shaylin. If you go on Instagram, you can type in the Stretch Fairy and you will see the pink that we are talking about. So I am a registered massage therapist, stretch therapist, bar instructor, Pilates instructor, nervous system specialist, all the good juice.
Cranial sacral too,
Yeah,
don't you know?
yeah, I won't
Yes.
forget that. Also so good. But we have created a wellness studio for movement. So group experiences where people get to come in and just exist. And I wanted to make it the truest expression of myself, which is like girly, juicy pink.
In the
It's
most grounded way, I have to say. I
yeah,
think that's what draws me into it.
it's a little unhinged though, too, which is
It
which is
is the
awesome.
perfect combo.
Yeah, so it's just so funny. I have a lot of people who come into my space and into my world, and they're like, they get onto their mat, they sit there, and they just say, wow, I feel so at peace. I don't know what's going on. I really hate pink. I love these pink signs. There's pink lights on the wall. Wow, I love the way you marbled the wall with the pink. I'm going to go to Winners and buy myself a pink sweater. What did you do to me? Look at my Stanley Cup. It's pink. And they're like, Shae, what is the pink? What does it mean?
Yes. It actually makes me think of, and maybe you'll know her name. I want to, I no, don't know her name. Um, Bring Your Pink Back or something like that. Have you heard of this? About how flamingos, after they give birth, they lose their pink color. And then, yeah, slowly after, I'm totally butchering this, but she's like a pretty big
God.
influencer online and no idea. She talks about all sorts of things, but really did bring your pink back, I believe is what she called it. I don't know. Tell us if that's not
That's
what it's called.
so
But I think
fascinating.
some
Yeah.
moms will really resonate with it because I wonder if that's part of it, of just like coming back into, and it's not about like having to wear pink necessarily, but just like being okay with that. Like pink was just like, I think I wore a lot of pink when I was little and like bright pink, like fuchsias. And I bought two pink shirts last year and I do wear them. And I do feel cheerier when I wear them.
I really believe, like, especially the conversations that I've had with the people who tell me that they hate the color pink and then they come into the stretch fairy world and they're obsessed with it. And the conversation always comes back to it was never about the color pink, but rather what pink actually symbolizes in the real world. And then we
Oh.
go real deep, and I'm like, it's love, it's femininity, it's how you're supposed to be as a girl. Like, like in that standard gender specific role, it's always pink. If you don't like pink, you want to rebel against it. And it's just so funny. It's like the coming back too. But when you mentioned about the flamingo, I also think it can kind of like if you've gone through like some depth or some grief in your life and it wipes you out, it wipes the color out, and the pink is the color that kind of like comes back and brings you back to life. And it's so funny because I've seen that happen to people like
I bet on a regular basis, probably.
yes, constantly. And they're like, oh my gosh, like what is the pink, what does it mean? And I don't know what it means, but I do know that what society tells us that it's supposed
Yeah.
to mean is I think a lot of the reason why there's certain people who don't like it or they don't feel like they're able to
Yeah.
have it. And
That
then,
actually takes me into one of the things that you had posted about around like when we're not open to receiving love, then we're also like when we're blocking love, we're blocking money. And I think
yeah,
that does tie into this conversation because, there is, I would have said like 10 years ago, I'm so open to love and I love my husband and all. I love my children, of course. Like that love you feel when you give birth is like crazy wild. Or just like as a parent, even with like animals, like you just have
mm,
unconditional love for them. But there is a different depth of love that I just had no capacity for or consciousness of, period, a decade ago, 5 years ago, 3 years ago.
Right.
Like, I feel like that just deepens
Hmm.
all of the time. And I'm just open to it, maybe as part of it too, because I'm like, how good can it feel? Like, how great can it be? It doesn't mean
Yeah.
that everything's perfect and easy all of the time. I was thinking about this, like my husband and I had like an uncomfortable conversation on the weekend, and I was so freaking proud of us. And he was just like, why? I'm like, because that was hard. We were both like super open and vulnerable. And I know on the other side of those conversations, there's just a different connectedness that we can
Oh yeah.
feel that we wouldn't be able to feel. And to be able to be his safe space that he could open that way with something he was unhappy about. And then I can also respond with something I'm feeling like that's a safe, cool space to be. And I think that's like deep
Healthy
love.
relationship.
Yeah,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
that's like actual deep love of being able to be that safe space for each other, to have
100%.
conversations. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it takes a certain level of, well, you said vulnerability, but that could also be softness and like
Yep.
actually leaning into the feminine energy to be open to receiving and open to like asking for what you would like, but like in a way that you will receive it back. And as women, especially in today's world, a lot of us are always operating in that masculine energy where we're doing and we're trying to control. And I think there's a certain level of detachment that has to go into those conversations as well, and like trust
Yep.
that you will be okay regardless of the other person's answer and
Yeah.
how they respond. Like, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because I wouldn't have been actually open to him being that vulnerable years ago. Like
Really?
I probably would have made it something about me. Like looking back, I would have made it like I did something wrong
Hmm.
instead of it being like, this is so cool that he is being this open and brave. And it's like, to me, that's such a powerful masculine energy for him
Hmm.
to be able to open that way. Like we just didn't have like deep conversations. Like we would have
Yeah.
just had like surface level maybe conversations, whereas now we can like talk about feelings and stuff. And I would have never imagined we would have ever been that couple.
So, like, in saying that, do you feel like a deeper sense of like safety within the relationship as well because
I'm
of these
nodding.
conversations? Yeah, 100%. I think that's actually why like Morgan and I get along so well is we do. And like from the start, when we first got together, I was like, I don't want a relationship. What are you doing? Like, why are you here? And I just from the start had to be so vulnerable. I was like, this has been the last 3 months of my life. Like literally, if you want to go drive away from me right now, that's great. Like this is, and that's where we started, and we both had had a lot that we had went through before, so we actually kind of came together as this vulnerable match, which we still haven't had a fight. Not that fighting is good, but it's something that I say to people and they're like, what do you mean you don't fight with your partner? And I'm like, no, like we that just
Discussions.
doesn't happen.
I
It's
love that.
yeah.
And actually, looking back, so Blake and I have been together almost 17 years, and that seems crazy to say,
Hmm.
but we also both weren't looking for relationships at that time. And
Hmm.
he definitely like pushed through it a little bit more than I did of like, this is
Yeah.
something here. Cause I was like, I have too much in my life. Like, I'm not bringing somebody else into this. This is messy, really messy and complicated. And, there was a lot going on in life at that time. And he was just sturdy there. And I love that. But he also, I think, became that beautiful, stable rock for me. And then I probably closed him down a little bit, if I'm honest, because
Right.
he was that anchor. And so he didn't have that space to be open and vulnerable. We never communicated that. Like it was never like something, it was just like an unwritten truth that I feel like we've cracked open in the last few years. And I really honor and love that even deeper because yes, he was my anchor, but he doesn't have to be all the time. But also, I was a very independent woman. As a
Yeah.
single mom, I come from a divorced mom. We do things on our own. I don't need anybody. Like, you want to leave, you leave. That's totally how I ran my life, but it was from a wounded place. Whereas how when you were saying that, it didn't feel wounded at all. I was doing it from like being hurt and disappointed, and I'm so independent and I got this and I don't need you in my life at all. Have I ever told you about when I said to him, I want you, I don't need you?
No, but I feel like that's such a cliche thing. Oh gosh.
Did not go well. Did not. I was like having this like aha moment.
Yeah,
Like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. I want you. This was probably like 7 years ago. And he was so hurt, so hurt. And
yeah.
he did not understand it. And I had, thankfully done enough work on myself that I was able to hold the silence instead of trying to like justify and rationalize it all. But like we were out for supper and then we drove home in complete silence. And I was just like, I don't understand why he's so hurt. Like, I thought this was the most loving thing I could possibly say to you. And here he's like, that made me feel horrible. But I will stand by that to be true for sure of like, I would rather want somebody than need somebody in my life because I choose him over and over and over. He says this jokingly to our kids sometimes, and I'm like, you can't say that. I swear that's like therapy in the future for them. And he's like, I'm the only one she chose in this family.
Oh my gosh. It's funny. I echo that a little bit though too, though, about wanting to be with someone and not needing. I think especially as you can be a high value functioning person and still be able to exist in that feminine energy. But if you're dating in 2026, anyone that's listening to this seriously, like if they're not adding value to your life, like what are you actually doing? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because especially like if you, like you said, financially you don't need them.
Yep.
You've
Even
got
like,
a job, you've got like,
yeah, to
what
look
what
after the house.
yeah,
I'm that independent of a person that I will just figure those things out on my
and
own.
that's such a I think a brain confusion for men because they're like when you go back to those gender specific roles, a lot of men feel the safest or the most not in charge because that's not even the right word, but just like in their zone when they're able to take care of. And when you come in and you're like, hey, you don't need to do that, but I want you around, it can spike a weird conversation. And I think it takes a man who is able to exist in a healthy masculine way to be
Yeah.
able to handle and appreciate that type of relationship. And like you said, he's your husband now, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So he probably had never experienced that before in his life. And he's like, what do you mean? Like, and then is probably so grateful now, right? But
Yeah.
yeah.
I think so too. And I think he could actually articulate it now.
Hmm.
Whereas like, we retired him
Yeah.
4 years ago, 5 years ago, somewhere around there. And I
Hmm.
was expecting some of those things to come up then, to be honest, because, I remember when I became the quote unquote stay-at-home mom and how actually uncomfortable I felt with not feeling like I was bringing in any income.
Right.
And I didn't have the language then. This was 15 years ago almost. But really that I had attached my worth to being able to bring in an income. And so not having my own income was really uncomfortable, even though we split all bills, even though everything was at a joint account by that point, we were married, like, it was
Yeah.
really fascinating. And so I was maybe expecting that to happen for him a little bit more when he came home, and it didn't really happen
Right.
necessarily that way. And I thought that was interesting because, I do really believe there's like a lot of lineage in
Hmm.
that and within DNA and within, even mindsets and loyalty to parents and that sort of thing. But he didn't really go through that at that point. His was more about like being productive with his hands and us
Yeah.
realizing that that was a major part of who he is and that we needed to allow that to be honored within him too, that it didn't need to be attached to the money. I was still attached to
Mm,
it would be because I would be
yeah.
like, why would you work?
Right. Because you see it like from the financial, but like,
Yeah.
like busy with your hands could be a creative thing that's good for the brain and doesn't
So
always
good.
have to be monetized. But if it could be, that's a bonus if you want it
Yes.
to be. Yeah.
Yes. And it doesn't have to be, but it can be. and it doesn't
Mm.
have to have that attachment to it. But I've really watched him like come into his own masculinity, which has been like I wouldn't have said he wasn't a masculine man before,
No,
you
but
know, but I remember there was one summer, and I think it was after he had come home that summer, and he went to get his hair cut, as he does, and he had started a beard, which was different for him. He had never had like a uh full face of facial hair, let's say, and he came home and he had shaved his head into like a Viking mohawk thing, and I was just like, what just happened? Like, awesome. But it was so outside of his box. He's always just got like the most boring of haircuts, lets the
yeah.
barber do whatever the barber wants to do. Like, he has never been into any sort of hairstyle. I don't even know what to call it, that hair shape. Like, he is just not into that sort of thing at all. And he came home and I was just like, huh. And then I said to him a couple of years later, because he never went back to it after he did that,
Okay.
like lesser, but it was like to the skull this one time on the sides, like
Yeah.
so. And he's like a conservative guy. Like it was very outside his box to do that. It would be like if I went and got a pixie cut. Like I've never done it. Like it would just be so different, right? And I said to him a couple of years ago, maybe a year and a half ago, I think you should go back for that haircut. And he was like, why? What? And I was like, you stood differently. You held yourself differently. Like there was just like a whole shift in him when he got that haircut. And I was just like, this is so fascinating for somebody that's not attached to hair, like has never put moisturizer on his face, works outside, refuses sunscreen, like just not into anything to do with that. Like if clothes have holes, you can see through many of his shirts. Like he is just like, why would I buy a new one? This is still working. Like that is just not his thing.
Did he go back and get the haircut?
Yeah.
It's like an avatar customization.
Yeah. 100%.
When you're playing a video game and you're like, wow, I just leveled up. I'm gonna get my character something new and cool. Like the energetic shift happens
Yeah.
within you playing the game, but like it's real life too.
Yeah.
I'm a big avatar girly. Like this is me, but I am like, yeah, I'll do this to my hair. Like, sure, I'll get Botox in my forehead. If I don't like it, it'll come out. Like, like you just do whatever. Like
Yeah.
yeah, but it does. It shifts the way that you feel and then
Absolutely.
the energy that you exude off. And did that shift your
Absolutely.
relationship as well?
Oh, for sure.
Right?
Because he was just in his power.
And you're
And
like, this
he would
is
have been
it.
like, a haircut does not matter to me at all. And I was like, you became a different man
All this
that day.
magnetism is like just beaming.
So great. And similarly, about 6 months ago, so he has a little bit more of a beard now, and it's, I don't know, an inch or two long, depending at the time. And he was trimming it himself, I think was what was going on. And I was like, I think you need to go to the barber because, like, we have he's found an amazing barber who's really good at shaping it for him. And I'm like, sometimes it cracks me up how he will just be like, no, I'm not spending money on that. And I'm like, it's $50.
Yeah.
But like you'll spend $300 on that. Like money's just relative and everybody has their different things, right? And so it's always fascinating to me. And I was like, is this a money mindset thing that you don't want to spend $50 to get your beard trimmed? And he's like, yeah, it is a little. And I was like, okay, cool. You do you, whatever. But then I saw a picture of a friend of ours who grew out like a big beard, like down like 5 inches. And I was like, you would do that, wouldn't you? If I wasn't like, go get that shaped. And he's like, yeah, I probably would. And I was like, as long as you're not doing it because of a money mindset piece, that's yours. I will stop saying
And
anything about the beard.
isn't your husband who edits your podcast for you? He's gonna listen to this and be like,
No,
oh, oh, I
no,
thought
he doesn't do any back end work anymore.
he's gonna be like, these girls are just talking about my beard and my masculinity. Should I edit this part out?
He does not. He doesn't do socials anymore. He doesn't do
Oh, okay.
anything like that anymore. No.
Oh gosh.
I did a post about him a while ago about this like piece of like it was the biggest dream to retire him. And it
Mhm.
was just like a static carousel post, but it performed a lot
Yeah.
for what my posts normally do. And he was just like, what's going on in your social media world? And I was like, nothing. And he was like, a couple people have said some things to me about me being on there. I was like, oh yeah, because he's just giving me full permission of like
Yeah, of
share
course.
whatever. Like it's been an open conversation. I would never share anything that he didn't want shared. And same with my children. I think that's really important.
Mm,
Uh, but he was just like, I feel like there's something going on because people are talking to me differently. And I was like, maybe. Do you want to see the post? And he's
maybe.
like, nah, it's fine. I don't care. He just lives in his own zone. He's like,
That's so funny.
he would be a mountain man if I
Yeah,
didn't.
with his Viking haircut, ready to take on the wolves,
Yes, he
bears, the coyotes.
absolutely would. And he does not hunt. It's very fascinating, but I wouldn't be surprised if he would start in the future.
I mean, you could. It'd be
Yeah,
crazy. I
yeah,
love
right.
it.
What is like the strongest masculine thing about Morgan?
I think it's his moral compass, honestly, which is a
Yep.
fascinating answer. Like from the start, you just can't he can't pretend anything. Like if something is wrong, he will stand up for it regardless of like who it pisses off, like who is going to be affected by it. Like
Yeah.
he is so like straight and narrow and he will protect like anything in the pathway that would potentially compromise that. But that's probably why he does what he does for a
I
job.
was
He's a
gonna say, isn't
sheriff, so
he a law advocate?
he works in law, but then even in law, I mean, there's some things that happen and you're like, this is not right. So then he comes home and he's like, aren't I supposed to be doing the right thing? This doesn't feel like the right thing. So yeah, I think it's his ability to just very much see the right and wrong. And he actually is a Pisces,
I'm not good with
uh, which
those
is
things.
water sign. So his birthday is February 24th. But they're like the most deeply intuitive emotional
Mm.
sign, which is interesting. But
Yeah.
I see that a lot. Like he's got like this intuitive piece as well, and he always has a reason. Like he'll be like, okay, well, morally, like blah blah blah, but then he can like see deeper past just the like surface level stuff. So yeah, I think it's always been that because I know that if there's ever any time when anything kind of like happens to me, like he's always going to be like, I got you. And I didn't have that growing up. Like I didn't have parents who were able to stand up for me in those situations, especially in my teenage years. So it's just really cool to feel supported in that way.
Yeah. Integrity is a sexy thing.
Yeah. Oh, very much. Very much. And he's so
Yeah.
funny because if you ever see him, like he just always looks so like not angry, but he has this like don't mess with me look. And I'm like, dude, like what are you doing? But he's got like tattoos on one arm, like really like dark hair. He's handsome. I think he's good looking. But
Love it.
it's an energy thing. I think the first time like I was around him, I was like, oh, I am
Yeah.
like fully in this little bubble. Like I'm like so safe here. Like it was a weird shift because
Isn't it
yeah.
fascinating, right? Because I think that's what attracted me to Blake too, in
Hmm.
that it was just like this guy knows who he is. And then I
Yeah.
learned the details of his life and he was in a ton of turmoil and like had just broken up with a girl Jen that lived with him the week
Right.
before, so that was hilarious. I used to teach her.
Okay.
And she had literally just moved out the week before.
Yeah.
And but in that moment, and we had known each other in the past, like we had worked together when we were teens. But he was 3 years younger than me, so it was such a like me meant
You're a
nothing.
guy who's 3 years younger than you. So
Yeah, like
he's
his
3 years
biggest,
younger than me.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he's young. He's just a young
Good.
beef. I tease him sometimes. It's only 3 years. He will say it's only 2 years because he
Yeah.
he's a New Year's baby, New Year's Eve baby. But I just was like, this guy knows exactly who he is.
Hmm.
And I love, and there is nothing you can do to sway that at all.
Yeah.
It is pretty cool. And power, like he was only like 24 at the time. Like he wasn't even,
Oh my gosh. I feel like we met our people at the same time.
yeah,
Yeah.
like really young for
Hmm.
to have that like confidence in self.
Yep.
And I remember just saying to him as our kids were starting to hit like, I don't know, probably like around 10, I'd be like, I don't know how you and your parents did that and you did that with your confidence, but like we need to do that.
Yes.
That is a powerful gift for kids to have. So let's work on that because
Yeah.
it's really powerful because he'll try anything if it
Um,
feels right to him.
So, on that note, I'm
Mhm.
hosting a Valentine's Day couples Pilates class,
Yeah, you are.
and Morgan is my co-instructor.
I stinking loved that reel.
Oh no, I'm
So
making a new one. Like this is happening this year for Valentine's
yeah,
Day. So
but I
there will
loved
be
the
a new
old reel that you or whatever it was, the reel you
2.0
were like
coming this
showing
weekend.
him when
Yes.
he did the one with he's lifting his legs.
Like Slaps is like, yes, that's everyone's favorite. Okay, but just in saying that though, like when you talk about like men and like why you want to be with them, like they're down to do anything because they're like, okay, but I'm with her and like it's good. Like I think
Yeah,
that's kind of that like healthy masculinity that I was talking about, like guys who are
absolutely.
just so okay to be like, yeah, I'm gonna do this with my girl. Like I'm gonna watch her be strong. This is gonna be so good. I think we have 10 couples signed up and they're all blue collar dudes. And I'm like,
I
of
love
course
it.
they are. They're gonna come up in their Dunlop boots, and I'm like, take those off, get on your
Love
tippy toes. Here's your Pilates ball. But I have like the funniest like playlist for them. It's gonna be all like
it.
MMA walkout songs, and they're gonna be like dying with these little pink like Pilates balls and 1 pound weights. And
So good.
I make them men the influencers. I'm gonna give them my phone and be like, make my videos for me. I have no idea what's gonna happen.
It's gonna be so great. Can you
I,
start a vlog on that one?
yes, yes. There will be lots of video. I'll take my GoPro, my like good camera. I'll just
Yes.
send it around the room.
It
It'll
will
probably be
be,
like middle fingers and like they'll be like, oh, I hate this. It's so hard. And then they'll probably be like, oh, look at my girlfriend.
it makes me think of, have you seen those challenges? And I stopped trying them with my family because where it's like women can do this, but men can't. So like when you're propped down like on
Oh
all fours,
yeah.
the women are on their elbows and then they can put their
Like
arms
yeah,
behind to hold.
lean against the
All
wall.
the males in my life have very strong lower cores, and so nobody fell. Nobody couldn't do it. Or like the one where you put the forehead to the wall and
Yeah.
like the chair, they can all do it. It was underwhelming. I really wanted us to all have good giggles. And I was getting them to try to find things that I couldn't do too. We were trying to do it as a family thing over Christmas. They can all do all of them. But like not everybody can because it's that
Mhm.
lower core, I think, that really
Yeah.
holds it
Or
in.
it also depends on how like long your spine is too,
Is
right?
that what it is?
I would say. And then depending on like how your hips sit, there's yeah.
Ooh, tell us more from the physiological sense so
From
I
a
can sound
physiological
so smart tonight when we are talking
I don't
about
know how smart I actually am, but no, I think yeah, like a lot of times mm, like men are typically like taller, right? But then that usually means that they have a taller torso. Like if they don't and their legs are taller, like anatomically people will do things differently based on like their arm span or how like so yeah, I don't know. I don't know your people.
so
What's
we're
their
all short.
proportion like yeah, exactly. Short and
Like my
compact.
husband and I are the exact same height.
Yeah, I think
So
that's fair.
that's why he can do it.
Yeah. Hmm.
All right. Maybe I'll try with my taller son because he's the giant of the family at I think he's 5'9".
Yeah. Yeah. See if you can show him up a little bit.
Maybe. It's just entertaining. And I do love doing like family activities that just make us laugh, like that of just pure
Oh
silliness.
yeah.
Like we did the
Mhm.
tortilla challenge a couple years ago, and I was like going through old
Gosh.
videos a while ago, and I was like, we should do that again. That was really entertaining.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah. Or
Laughed.
have you seen the ones on like TikTok where you it's like so your kids would basically write down all of their slang from this day and age and then they put water in their mouth and then the parents or the grandparents try and say it.
Yes. So good.
You're
So
just
good.
like, oh my gosh. But that's like fun bonding because they're probably
Yes.
like, parents are cool. They'll let me
Yes.
slap them with a tortilla.
I forgot at Christmas I wanted to do that with my husband's parents because all three of their kids were home that day, and I forgot to
Oh,
do it
so
where like
good.
they do the head into the water.
Yeah, that one too.
Or I should make a list and let my kids do it because I think it would be pretty entertaining. Like do it backwards. Like you've seen it where the parents like put the kids' faces in water, but I think we could
Yes.
do it backwards with the
I mean, you probably could.
doing ours. Yeah. It's fun little family things, you know?
A little bit. So
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Thank you for this. I feel
Yeah,
like we're
thank
just like
you.
naturally uh riffing on things around this. But Galentine's, when is your couples? Did you call it
Couples is
Galentine's?
gonna be
Valentine's.
Friday
What'd you
the
call it?
13th. Hotter than him.
Love it.
Is what it's called. Yeah. So, but I have the night before we're gonna do just like a girls only night because some of the girls were like, I don't have a boyfriend. Can
Yeah.
I like I'm like, oh, okay, well, we can still hang out. So I think like all Valentine's Day, we're just doing like whole love week. And then on actual Valentine's Day, my yoga instructor is hosting a self-love class. So it'll just be a really fun,
Cool.
yeah, good time.
Yeah. What does Valentine's Day mean to you?
I don't know the answer to that really. I think it's
Yeah.
different every year.
Same.
Like Morgan's birthday is February 24th, so it's 10 days after Valentine's. So I usually I'm like, do you want two little presents or do you want a big present? What would you like to have? But we
Yeah.
always do something, I
Yeah.
think. But I know some people think Valentine's Day is like a cliche holiday, like you should love each other all the time, but I don't know. I think Christmas is cliche too. So
Same.
all of them are what they are, but I also really love any excuse to celebrate things that I care about.
Yeah. Same.
So,
I
yeah, so
agree.
I do like Valentine's, but I think that's also why I'm going all out with it from business this year. Like we did some sales actually too, which went really well. It was really fun. Like just some like these are all my favorite things and I love you guys, so here's a special price. You know,
Cool.
just fun
Yeah.
little like that, celebrating like who they are, celebrating the business, celebrating Morgan. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, but I
I
like
love
birthdays.
it.
Big birthday girl, don't really like holiday, but I don't know. I like Valentine's.
I do like Valentine's too. I've always just looked at it of like, yes, it's commercialized. Totally.
Right.
Does it have to be in that way? Like, I did tell Blake a few years ago, like, please don't buy me flowers anymore that week because
Yeah,
like I do feel like he can buy me flowers any week.
any day. Exactly.
But
Yeah.
we do still recognize it because I don't think it's bad to have a day of just like focusing a little extra on the love or a couple of weeks actually. Like it's one of the few that I do like do little decorating things around the house, little decor
Yeah.
things. I didn't last year because my kids don't really seem to care. They're older. It's fine. We did it a
Yeah.
lot when they were little. We did crafts and stuff all of the time. But I think they did actually miss it because we used to do like love bombs on their doors. I should start that actually again, where we would just have like cut out hearts and then you'd have to write something nice about somebody else in the family and tape it on
For
their
love.
door. Yeah, we did do that
Yeah.
for a few years. It was a good one. But
Yeah, I think I'm gonna put like I'm gonna cut out little, well, just envelopes and like slam them on my wall downstairs and make little love notes and be like, take one, leave one, and just have
love.
that for next week. And I don't know, like I love love.
Yeah,
So if there's a
same.
reason to celebrate it and to go all out about it, like I'll do it.
It's kind of that full circle pink thing.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
Think about pink. They
yeah.
actually, I was just at the dollar store before this, and they have pink disco ball hearts. So obviously, I needed all of them.
Meant to be
Or they're like this big little ornaments, and they're shiny. So I those will just be in the pink studio year
forever.
round. It's actually such a great time to buy decor for
Yeah,
everywhere in here. Maybe I'll have
it
to
would be.
find.
I know. I was doing show homes with my mom a couple of weeks ago, and there's a red room, or we call them rooms, but they're like a full condo. And one was themed around red, and she's like, oh, how am I going to find red pillows? I was like, are you kidding me? It's Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
People
you
have
could
no
appreciate red
problem finding
pillow.
red decor right now.
Yeah.
Red or pink. Yeah. So fun. And it's funny too because she's done these condo show homes for years and sometimes she'll get bombarded with a little bit extra. And so then a few weeks ago, or a month ago, maybe she was like, I have a lot. Do you want to help? And I've done them lots in the past. So it's not really anything big for me to like step into that. I kind of know what's going on. But the first time she did a pink room, I was like, mm, I don't know. But it came together. So it's one of my favorite ones.
Yeah.
When we do a pink room, even though, and it's not always like super girly. Like
Hmm.
it's not, but yeah, I don't feel like men walk into the condo and be like, I could never live here. It's just like a beautiful amount of cozy, feminine.
Yeah. And pink is like heart chakra color too, pink or green, depending.
Mhm.
So I mean, it's got a lot of meaning, I think. It's so funny where the house that we're building is all black. Like the outside is like black wood and stone.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
but it's so funny. One of a girl that I went to high school with like commented and she was like, "You're literally like Hannah Montana. You have a pink studio and a black house. You're living the best of both worlds." Like, oh my gosh. I was like, yeah, I was like very, very much in the duality here.
Yeah. What will you do inside though? Do you know yet?
Yeah, so we're gonna keep the concrete slab. We're gonna do like a diamond grind polish.
Cool.
So keep that. So we put some stone around the front entryway to kind of make the front and the inside cohesive. And
Yep.
then I think we're gonna do like a dark kitchen, like a blackish kitchen. I would love to do a wood grain finish on the top for the counter, but I don't know how good it holds up, so we may or may not.
Do you have an island?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like one of those like uneven, like tree cut through the middle.
Raw edge.
Yeah, raw edge
Yeah.
countertop. But I know that sometimes, like if you cut or use it a lot, like it can be not that sustainable over time. So we might do like a quartz. I don't know. But
I don't
then,
know. I have a butcher block island. I
yeah,
will never not have a butcher block island after
yeah,
this. Like aesthetically, I love a lot of the lighter countertops,
yeah,
but I just love like even like baking on it or like I don't know.
yeah.
I made buns yesterday on it and I just love that versus any other
Mm,
countertop I've ever had.
mhm.
There is something grounding about it.
I think so. Yeah. And then I
But we
also,
don't have a sink in our island. That would be my only thing
yeah, I don't have a sink in my island.
because it's just water is really,
Get out. I moved it to the wall because I wanted to be able to use it as like if you want to sit or host or have people. And I don't know why. I just feel like because it's not an overly big island. I think it's 6 feet, but just if you put a sink in that, then you take probably a third to a half of it away immediately. So yeah, we
yeah.
moved the sink over to the wall.
I love that we're talking about homes. So the other thing I don't like about sinks and islands
Yeah.
is, and I've had two, it always felt like my island was messy because there's always like something in the sink or beside the sink, or I don't know. It felt like it was harder to keep the island. I like it like cleaner, which
Sure.
actually there's always stuff on it with 5 people living in a house, but I have one tray in the middle. That's where everything has to go.
Yeah. No,
So
100%. That was my
feel,
thought too.
yeah.
Yeah.
But no pink walls.
I don't think I might do I want to do we have 3 bathrooms and I want to do the bathrooms like some sort of flashy color. Like those will be the fun kind of smaller rooms. We have like the really high cathedral ceilings in the loft so you can basically see like so much
Yeah.
space. I think we'll just do a light color and color all of the walls so that you can everything looks like one. I looked at,
Beautiful.
doing 2 different colors, but then it said you can really like see where one wall ends and the next one finishes and it can actually make it look smaller. So I was like, that's
Yeah.
interesting. But I don't know. I could do like there's a couple spaces that I could do an accent wall and
Hmm.
maybe do like a taupe and black lime wash together. So it'll be like a cloudy looking, yeah, I think that could fit in good. We want to do like probably a leathery, like brown type of like furniture to match the outside chestnut
Yeah.
brown. So, yeah, it's kind of like we're trying to match the outside to
Fun.
the inside, but also give it its own feel too. Also, I
Yeah.
kind of like green. I might do a green, maybe bedroom. I don't know,
I
decor.
know.
We'll
I
see.
am really like digging dark greens again. And I've almost painted my
Um,
bedroom for 2 years, that dark green. And except for I want to switch it in the summer.
okay.
I would, if somebody else, I love painting, but if somebody else painted my room for me so that I could have summer white when it's
Yeah.
summer and then, or
Oh, and then
calm,
switch.
and then
I don't know, just
dark.
get a curtain drop or something. Take it down
Curtain
and
my whole room.
it would look nice.
It would be so cozy.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, thank you for being on, Shae. I love how this
Thank you for
conversation
having
just went
me.
all over the place and how random it was too. So let us know what your
Yeah,
little thoughts are for that. But I do think we actually talked about some really good things
I
mixed
feel
in
like
there too.
every time I come on your podcast, your listeners are probably like, this girl again. We never know what we're gonna get.
Neither of us do because even when we plan on it, and that's why I'm like, there's no point in planning on what we're gonna riff around because we switch it.
Yeah,
We did that,
yeah,
I think, the first one so much, and then it was like we try to get on the second one too.
it's
I
okay.
love it.
It was,
I truly think whatever is meant to go through comes through us. And
100%.
that's how it's meant to be. So if
So
they
good.
want to find you, let's share one more time where they can find you.
Stretch Fairy on Instagram. That's probably the best place. That's where I answer the most people. Like it's the easiest place for me to talk.
Yeah.
But then our other Instagram is Stretch Fairy Wellness Co. And that's more of the community account that we have as well.
Oh, that's
So,
right. Yes. And
yeah.
what city are you in for anybody who doesn't? I don't think we actually said.
Bridgewater, Nova Scotia. So about 8 to 10,000 people on the south shore of Nova Scotia, Canada. It's a lovely little town close to the ocean. There's like 10 beaches within 20 minutes of where I live. It's a great place to be if no one
Amazing.
really likes to live here, because there's not a lot to do, but it's a really great place to vacation in the summer. So yeah.
Yeah. So much nature. Okay, what are the like ignorant Canadian here? What are your temperatures
Oh, it
being in
was
the
minus
ocean
12
like
today, but it was
-12?
+4 yesterday.
Is that with wind chill? Like what is your wind chill?
Oh, well, we were we were building our house without a heater last weekend and it was -25 with the wind chill.
Yeah. Okay.
Not
So
good.
no, that's cold. That's
Yeah.
cold for sure. I was on an interview for a podcast earlier this week, and she's from Kentucky, and they're in
Mm,
their ice storm, which
yeah.
so much love to them down there. But I was like, like they're completely shut down, and it's 3 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm just like, this is so fascinating to me. And I was like trying not to sound cold, but I'm like, and she's like, well, I think I'll just move to Canada because it's nice there. And I'm like,
You're like, it's -40 at my
yeah,
house.
like, it is not abnormal for us to hit -40 with a wind chill in the
Yes.
winter. And she was like, oh, yeah. And I was like, if you've never experienced -40 or -50, you breathe in through your nostrils and they freeze
Freeze
together.
together. I will say that the cold in, because I've been to like Northwest Territories when it's been -40,
Yeah.
and the cold in Nova Scotia, because we have so much water around us,
Yeah.
find that there's more moisture in the air,
Yeah.
and a -10 can feel like a dry -30 for
Yeah.
sure. But then, like also when I used to live in Ontario, like there's not as much water, like there's some lakes and things, but those smaller bodies of water don't really give that same coolness. So sometimes feels like -10 outside. It's actually -30, and then there's a wind chill. You're like, oh my gosh, the nostrils
Yeah.
are swelling shut, and your hair is freezing on your head. Like it's,
Yes.
yeah,
It
yes.
would be very different, very wild that way. But I was like, if you find Kentucky cold right now, I understand that it's cold, but don't move up
I
here.
don't care. Don't know.
Canada is probably not the place for you in the
It's
winter.
long johns to get you through the day. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
And it's just interesting too, right? Because um, like they just don't know how to deal with ice at all. Like they haven't drove anywhere. Like they haven't had school in like two
I
weeks.
think it's so funny when there's other places in the world that get 5 centimeters of snow and the world ends. I mean, we had like a 40 centimeter storm that knocked the power out for 2 days. That was kind of a legitimate reason to not go to work and to not, people couldn't leave their houses because they had no heat and they had to keep it in.
Yeah.
Valid. But yeah, no, it's pretty funny. But it happens here too. They say 5 centimeters of snow and everybody is at the grocery store getting bread and milk, and you're like, it's gonna be fine. You're gonna be able to drive tomorrow.
But like, I don't, does this happen out there where like the first snowstorm of the year, everybody
Yes,
forgets how to drive in
yes.
any ice or snow? And I think there's 162 accidents this year on
I
the
love
first day of snow. It's like, how do we
every
all forget? We all live here.
yeah, I don't know. And it's probably because it happens on the full moon and everyone's just like,
Probably. That's true too. We were
oh,
like plus, I think 16 here yesterday, which was
you were
lovely.
16 degrees?
Yeah, like so
Oh,
crazy lovely. Like I have no snow on my front yard at all. Um, but we'll hit another, I'm sure. Usually we get some crazy blizzards here, and then we'll all forget how to drive in the snow again, and we'll forget how cold it is again. And it's funny because I went for a walk yesterday, it's +10, and my hands were so cold. And I was like, Jen, you walk in -30 all the time. Like, how can your hands feel so cold right now?
climate change. Yeah, the
Yeah.
adjust. Yeah, it's oh
Calibrate,
man.
recalibrate. Anyway, go have the most beautiful day, guys. Thank you for tuning in if you stuck with us this far.
Thank you.